Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 3 of the Tour podcast. I'm back here with my bro, C-Plex. Chris C-Plex. Leva, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on, man? Nothing much. Just chilling.
Chilling.
Here in quarantine. Day
Quarantine,
number,
yeah.
what is it, 5 or 6?
Yeah, 586.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the
Just trying to
coronas,
stay
bro.
out here. Just basically trying to survive, man. Isolated from everybody. Nah.
Yeah.
But what about you, man? How you doing?
You know, freaking working through this shit and
Yeah.
risking
I
our
know.
lives. HEB.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
HEB.
No, yeah, I understand, dude. I'm freaking
Mm,
these stores, man, that stay open, just risking
yeah.
their freaking,
It's,
I guess, lives and health for
yeah,
people to get the shit
honestly,
that they
bro.
need. It's pretty crazy,
Just
man.
just for these motherfuckers to spread it even more.
Yeah,
It's like if you're scared of getting it, why fucking pile up into a store?
yeah. I
Just
mean, lately, in my experience, and all the WalMarts that, or not all the WalMarts, but the one that I work at is currently is just it's kind of mellow, but there's still people that like rush in as soon as we open, like at 6 o'clock, because our store
yes, dude.
ain't 24 hours. So the hours were 6 to like wait no, yeah, 6 o'clock to I think 1 or 12, and they'll
Well,
close. Yeah, but now since all this is going on, now they're starting to open up like at 8 and closing at I think it's 8 to 8, dude.
it too.
I don't remember. Yeah, they keep continuously like just changing the hours. So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what we're doing right now. We used to do 6 to midnight,
Hmm.
and now we're doing 8 to 8, and we're also doing like people going in and like single file line. Like we only let like 15 or 20 people in at a time, and
Yeah.
when those 15 20 people leave, we put in another 15 and 20.
Yeah.
Because it's just people get too crazy, and we run out of like our stock runs out real quick because
Yeah.
people
It's
just
not the same, dude. No, like yeah, we're kind of not doing the same thing, but we're having like in the morning. I think it's in the morning. I'm not too sure, but basically we're opening up the store if you're older than 60 and above for those people that
like early.
uh yeah, so they get there early rather than everybody else. So because
Yeah.
like I'm telling you, people rush in there like with baskets and like
Yes,
literally
dude.
wipe
It's
us out, even though they see the sign. I mean, I have pictures. Hopefully, I could
yeah.
show it to everybody. But like they have signs that literally say two per person. So and it doesn't matter like if they're different brands, you have to get only like two, specific thing. But yeah, it's been crazy, dude. How everything has been going ever since this outbreak of this virus. So no, yeah, it's just crazy being working
Yeah.
at these stores, dude. People are
Yeah.
going nuts.
Honestly, it's just working through it right now at this point. Like, I'm pretty sure a cure is already, not a cure, but a vaccine's already on its way.
Yeah,
And I had to cancel my trip to South Padre with my friends
yeah, I heard about
this
that.
next weekend coming up. But it's all cool. We're
Yeah,
just gonna go chill at their house and just watch movies and order in.
yeah, yeah.
Because even all the
Yes,
restaurants, like they're all
yeah,
closed. Like it's all drive-through only.
yeah. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, as long as y'all, it doesn't matter. I guess as long as y'all have fun with each other.
yeah,
I mean, South Padre when I went a while back, it was pretty fun, but it's pretty cool. I mean,
yeah.
when I went there, it was like a Slitterbond and like we went what is that boat fucking parachuting whatever the hell that is.
Oh, paragliding,
Yeah,
Is it?
that was
Yeah,
pretty
something
dope
like.
and with one of my best friends. But yeah, it was a good experience when I went out there.
Yeah,
But I mean, hopefully next time this shit don't happen for y'all
I
again.
know, man. Yeah, like literally, all we were gonna do is just go over there and chill and just go to the beach. That's really like that was the main focus, just the beach. But
Yeah.
yeah, those like they had 2 confirmed cases over there, and like everybody lost their shit. Like we got
Yeah.
like about like 25 over here in Austin.
Yeah.
But I'm
It's
not stressing about it, man.
we'll go into more detail like probably in the
Yeah.
end of this podcast.
Well, yeah, towards the end, and probably more with the other guys because I know they
I
have
guess
ideas about it.
yeah.
But yeah. So last podcast we talked about was just how many stories we have and like peering into our lives. But
Hmm.
um, a lot of people don't know that we're cousins,
Yep.
and we've been growing up since we were like little babies and everything. We
Yep.
always been by each other's side,
Yep.
and I just want them to know, like how how was it growing up, man?
How was it between all of us growing up?
Yeah,
Dude. There's definitely some highs when we're growing up. Just always having fun, sleeping like
yeah,
sleepovers, and
yeah. We always had sleep.
just the
We're like I was
typical,
always at your house, dude.
yeah, just the typical, just cousins, brotherly bond type shit.
Yeah,
Everybody goes
some
to
next level shit,
yeah,
man.
each other's house, and we
Yeah,
stay up to this day. We do the same thing, like
look at
nothing's
us.
changed between. Yeah, so I mean, we're just older now, but I mean, us growing up back then, man, we made the most of it when we
Yeah,
were younger, and like when every time I think about that and I reminisce, like all the fun and cool ass memories, dude, it's just sad as fuck, dude. Because I
it's
wish I could live.
sad. It's
Yeah,
funny, bro. It's like I want to
yeah,
go back.
yeah.
Like just, I
We
mean,
we we didn't
we didn't have the
like
perfect life. Like we didn't have like everything easy. Our parents tried. They tried to make
yeah.
everything easy on us. Like we noticed that. I mean, definitely noticed that they're
Mm,
trying their hardest to like make us like happy and what we
mm,
wanted. Like we had like all the consoles and everything, like gaming. Like
yeah,
really, like they kind of fed our addiction, but
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
but yeah, I just like a lot of people that like them. They grew up and
Yeah,
they really didn't experience what we went through.
yeah. And some of it is like, I mean, we made the most out of everything. Like it didn't matter what the hell it was. We'll
Yeah,
just like put us in a room or in a house, dude. We'll literally
we do
think
something.
of something. Yeah, think of something to do. And like I mean, of course, later down the road, when as soon as we got older, things started changing. Our lives started changing,
Yeah,
and one of you know, like this dude, like there's so much thing that's flowing through my mind right now. Just like every little, just memory, I guess you could say. It's just like all the highs and then the fucking
love.
deepest lows,
So
man.
so if
It's
you okay, so I know this is gonna be hard, but if you could pick like the top three memories you have of
oh
growing up, what would it be?
shit.
Yeah, putting you on the spot, man.
Damn, dude, that's literally a hard ass question.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, so top three best
Yeah,
moments
so
in my life.
yeah, this dude top. So you know what? How about this?
Top
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 top best memory and top like the one that sticks out for you like the lowest memory, like both.
like okay, so basically three top best like from like the past.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, but and then one, one I guess one downfall one.
yeah, yeah. Let's do that. Screw it.
Okay, I guess shoot, dude. I mean, the, the best memory I guess you could say is you know man, that's dude. I can't even
It's
think of
hard, dude.
one. I
Yeah,
can't even
it's
think
like
of one.
it's a lot.
I mean, all I could think about is just one of the best ones is like just like the simplest thing is like all of us all young again and just growing up and just having sleepovers and
Yeah,
like just playing games, downloading. I mean, not downloading, going to fucking movie gallery at that time and or
dude. Movie gallery,
Showtime.
bro.
Yeah, dude. That's one of the memories. I think the second one is just you know chilling with our family. I guess you could say at at a quinceanera or something, dude. Like
Yeah, it could be
it's all
anywhere,
it.
honestly.
Yeah, pretty much all my three memories are just with family. How it
Yeah,
was back then, and that's like undisputed fucking my top memories of pretty much like any little type of good memory back then. It was all young, of us the old G's just growing up together in the same neighborhood, just
yeah.
going to family parties. Like those will always be like the best memories. It's like
Okay,
I
so
can't choose one.
the
It's harder
funny
for me
thing,
to
the
choose one.
funny thing with me about like family parties, dude, is that we always stuck together.
Yeah,
And like we always have people like, "Oh, mijo, how you
yeah,
doing?" And you're like,
yeah, yeah.
"Hey,
You
how you
didn't know,
doing?"
yeah.
Yeah. And like I always hated that feeling. It's like I should know you, but I don't.
Yeah, you just it's like that like awkward moment where you're like, fuck,
Like, hey,
who the fuck?
this is
Like,
your
how do you know my
cousin.
name? I don't know
I,
you. Yeah.
I, saw,
Oh shit.
I saw you as a baby. But
Yeah. Sorry, my fucking screen turned off. But
no, it's good.
yeah. No, yeah, that's yeah. I have countless times of people, came up to me like that, just like trying to introduce themselves.
Yeah.
Like, who are
How you
you?
do the little handshake
But
or the
yeah,
little arm hug on the side?
yeah. Okay, so to keep track on what we were talking
Yeah.
about, I guess you could say, and one downfall.
Yeah.
Bro, to be honest, that's gotta be like, and like it's not hard to fucking pick out. And people who know me, I mean, it's
Yeah.
probably when I lost my mom. So I think that's got to be like the number one, and probably standalone downfall in my whole life, pretty much. I think because
Like
as soon as
just
that happened,
100% overall. Yeah.
yeah, because dude, as soon as that happened, I knew that okay, because back then I didn't think that I would ever live a day without my mom, but I know if I did, whenever she was sick, and when I was younger, just trying to deal and cope with all that,
Yeah.
I had thought about it. Like if my mom was to go away, my life would change so much, and I never knew if it was gonna be for good or for bad. But I always had like those bad vibes of it being bad, and it was pretty much hard because, like I said, my life changed drastically, and that's got to be one of my downfalls from that memories that you
Yeah.
wanted.
Yeah. See, yeah, like I would agree. Like that would be my standalone like downfall as well, because
Mm,
us just being together. I mean, brother, she was basically my other mom, man.
yeah,
And yeah, I felt the exact same. Like I couldn't really picture it because I mean, staying there with y'all all day, every day, you, your sister,
yeah,
your brothers,
yeah,
and just thinking about it, it's just like it sucked that she left and everything.
yeah, man. It was a dark and hard moment for me when
Yeah.
all that stuff happened. I mean, it happened so long ago, but then again, I remember it like it was yesterday, and it's tough, but I we just keep on going.
Yeah, but
Keep trying to.
you gotta also think about it too. That like
Yeah,
these downfalls and this downfall and your mom leave, it really helped steer us into the path that we're going on now and
yeah.
shaping us into the people that we
We, we
further
just
grew up into.
yeah. Yeah.
And
No, yeah, I agree.
we have like compared to like I would like to say 90% of the people that our thought process is like completely different, and just how
Yeah,
we act around people and what our morals are, they're different than what other people's are 100%.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's like, I mean, I don't know, like the way that we had, you know, like I wish I can just like have my whole life play in a movie for you guys. So or like
Like
our
here,
our lives pretty much.
this moment.
Yeah, yeah, because there's so
Yeah,
many like turns of events that really would make or break us,
yeah,
to what we are now. And so we really had to like go through each obstacle and try to like, like, okay, if
yeah,
I gotta make a good choice, I gotta make a good choice. So going to the left and not making the right choice, and
yeah. And
uh,
then even not making the right choice, but bringing us back to
yeah,
the trying to correct our wrongdoings and bringing us back to the straight path.
yeah, pretty
And
much. And I think everybody has a story, but I would like because that's the saying. People like you tell your story and you explain why you want to do this and that, and you don't want. When I tell people my story, I don't want like any like, I guess you could say, sympathy or like
yeah,
people feeling sorry for you.
yeah,
It's just that I want people to know where I come from, because I'm never gonna forget where I, yeah, like where I came from and where I grew up. And
yeah,
uh I like to just throw it out there to know and just stay humble in whatever we do, and I like to like reflect that positive and that strong energy on others, on you and the guys we play with, on the people who we that watch us, and I
Like,
think that's my main, I guess, thing or side of it, of like telling my story, and try to make someone else's life kind of easier and like a little bit ease, so that there's hope for you to like stay strong and just keep your head up and keep on going, because there's more life to live than just always think about the negative and sad stuff that's just constantly just tearing you down. At the moment it could be hard, but you gotta literally like dig fucking deep and just keep striving through, and because you never know, I mean, whoever's listening, you might change someone's life, you do this and that, all the good positive things, and that's what I'm looking for, and
yeah,
I like to reflect that on others, and other just stay positive, that's pretty much but I guess, yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty
Like
much.
we had downfalls, but like we also had a lot of like positive things going on,
Yeah.
and like always remember. What I always remember is us staying up, wrestling, and like fighting in the living room, and like throwing, like actually throwing each other
Wrestling.
against.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I forgot who it was, but I think it was Mark.
Yeah.
We, I think I forgot who threw him, but we threw him into the armrest and we knocked his air out.
Oh
And
yeah.
we're like, "You okay? You okay? You okay?"
Yeah. There's
yeah,
constantly like
yeah.
wrestling
It's,
matches at the house and the living room. There's
and
countless nights that we stayed up just fucking gaming, dude.
yeah,
And there's,
I remember staying up in our chones
yeah,
playing Jackass the game on
yeah,
PlayStation 2, and like
yeah.
drinking honey and syrup to stay awake. Like we're a bunch of
Oh
little
my god,
crackheads, man. I
fucking
remember
weirdos,
that.
dude. Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
we're fucking weirdos.
It's just
But
grinding it, dude. It was funny, but
yeah,
that's where we got here now. We're like,
yeah,
fuck, man.
we're all fucked up now, eh? Nah.
Like, we don't need the sugar now.
Nah, yeah.
and
No, I mean, yeah, man. Every time I think about stuff like this, like just memories, dude,
yeah, it
it gets
feels
me
like it's
sad.
yesterday,
And
right?
that's, yeah, it doesn't get me sad, but it's like, fuck, man, like that
Reminiscing
bummer.
it.
Yeah,
Like
it's just
you're
like
just
that bum ass fucking feeling. Like, damn, if I can go back
you're
in
like,
time,
really, it's really been that long. Like you're like, it's
man.
really like we used to be
Yeah,
like short. We used to be little.
yeah, yeah. It's pretty crazy, man. And like on this podcast, I would like to like talk about like our certain, we won't go into further like little details, but all of the positive memories, and like I guess we can go into like the negative side,
Yeah,
and because most, like, you can like say for yourself and vouch
yeah,
that our lives has been pretty much like challenging and hard in certain moments, because it's, I don't know why. I mean, it's just the
yeah,
way, I guess, our life is, man. God likes to really challenge us in many ways, and you know, we, I guess you could say he's trying to build us up for something pretty good. That's how I
yeah,
see it. So,
yeah,
what is some of your positive memories, and try to go out on your negatives as well.
yeah.
That you want to share with everybody
So like
else, growing
positives.
up, or like growing up, or like currently. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
So like I would say like growing up with y'all is one of them, of course. But um, go visiting my sister in California. Like I
Hmm.
always like doing that. She's over there in San Diego, and we always go over there when we were small and like go to the
Mm,
beach and just hang out with her. It's like California's a good place to visit,
yeah.
but living over there kind of sucked.
Uh, why is that? Like,
It's so over there like it's super expensive, dude, and like
yeah,
just the atmosphere was different, and like
yeah,
I think also it was like being around people that you weren't really used to, and
yeah,
like a new environment,
hmm,
and just seeing how people were different culturally and just like how they were
yeah,
brought up. It was kind of weird. It was a big like
yeah. like culture
180,
change.
dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
culture shock. I meant to say.
yeah, it was a big cultural shock. And yeah, if I would have stayed, because I moved there 2000, 2015,
Hmm.
and we moved back 2016 because I wanted to graduate where we were from
Yeah.
instead of there. But I'm pretty sure if I would have stayed there, I would have got used to it, and
Hmm.
just I had a lot of friends there.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I made a lot of friends. I had good times over there. Going to play rugby. When I moved over there, they introduced me to rugby, and that changed my
Yeah.
life and just like brightened my horizons on everything in sports. I'm just like, damn, dude, like
Hmm.
this is like soccer, football, and everything mixed. Like it's always go, 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 go. Like
Yeah.
football's badass. Don't get me wrong, but rugby just takes it to that another level, man.
Yeah.
And
It's crazy. I've seen how they play that. I mean, it's basically how I see it's just football without pads, and
yeah,
that's pretty. And there's some big ass motherfuckers in that shit.
yeah,
No, yeah.
and just like the friends I made back there, the Germans, Joshka, Niklas, the was it who was it? Cortland, Steve, like everybody. I remember all these guys, and
Shout out to them.
yeah, shout out to y'all guys, man. That really changed everything for me.
Yeah.
And y'all showed me because they as soon as I showed up, dude, like they brought me in with open arms,
Mhm.
and I felt like those guys like that's the first time I also met Brandon Rankins. He yeah, that's the first time I met him, and finding out Brandon with the same name spelled as me. I was like, oh
Damn.
hell yeah, dude! And we instantly became best friends when we first, literally over a fucking name, dude. We became best friends.
Yeah, because usually the names spelled differently. Instead of En, it's On.
Yeah, it's Owen, like
Yeah, it's
Brandon
crazy.
and
Yeah,
Brandon.
Brandon.
But yeah, those guys, like those, like they really like showed me.
Impacted your life.
Yeah, they impacted my life pretty good. I still keep in touch with most of them. We
Yeah,
all have each other on that social media is a good thing too.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, just but living over there, it kind of like it's. I guess I would say homesick. That would
yeah.
be like one of my downfalls.
And
But
I kind of have a similar story to that as well.
yeah,
But yeah, keep. I'll let you keep on.
but then also just really hanging out with you guys is just my all my ups, man. It's
Yeah,
just like it's crazy.
presence and just us hanging out. Yeah, no, I kind of know how that feels of like that homesick. I mean, I didn't move out of state. I just moved, different
Cities and
locations.
stuff.
And yeah, I mean, where we grew up is like pretty much the desert. And those who are not listening, we lived in and was born in, or I was born in Fort Stockton, Texas. So it's pretty much like a desert.
Yeah,
So I mean, if
yeah.
y'all don't
Think
know
of
what that, yeah.
tumbleweeds, fucking vultures, and literally think of the like cowboy movies, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If y'all don't know what that, or y'all curious to know how it looks like, just Google Fort Stockton, Texas, and yeah,
Not a lot.
it'll pop up. Yeah, they ain't much. Literally, it's just like one main road, and that's pretty much it. But basically, like it's like a population of 7,000. But
Yeah,
anyways, when I moved there from a city or like a smaller outside of city, Pflugerville, Texas, and that's pretty much in Austin. So it was a big change because I mean I guess you could say I'd say out of when I you know what's it called, when I finished my freshman year I
mm-hmm.
had moved up there, and I mean when I was little I always wanted to move to Austin, but the thing is I it was around like probably when my mom was still here, and so I would every time we would visit, I wanted my whole family, like my mom, all of us go up there. But I never thought I would move up there after my mom would pass, and the things that happened with my dad, and
Yeah.
you know, um,
Like you would have thought it was you could be
yeah,
on your own terms and like you
yeah,
going where.
yeah. I had like the a big, you know, dream, like just set in my head, like, okay, my family's gonna move up there one day and it's gonna be dope or whatever. But you know, since my mom passed away, boom, like that changed like my okay, when my mom passed, it literally changed the way, you know, certain things I viewed about life. And you know, there's certain things that I didn't know how to like cope with or handle. And so I was that type of person who didn't take it, you know, a step at a time. I just like went straight to it. And you know, I guess you could say, you know, as soon as I moved or we moved up there, me and my brothers and my dad, it it really just, you know, I ain't gonna lie. Okay, in the beginning, I was good. You know, I was excited. Like, hell yeah, it's gonna be a fresh start. You know, that's what my dad wanted. It
Yeah.
was gonna be away from like, you know, just certain things. You know, just to, I guess you could say, cope with with us. You know, with our great loss. And so we moved up there, and everything's all good. And you know, the first year there, and like, bruh, like it was so freaking different. Like, I didn't know how to handle so much people in one freaking school. Like I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? It was like to me, it's like
Oh
how it
man.
felt like in TV shows or something, like or like you know, in those high school you know movie
That's
scenes. You know,
declassified. It's just like
yeah, like there's
everybody.
so fucking people like everywhere. You're like, what
Yeah.
the fuck? I was always constantly like lost and like didn't know what the fuck I got into myself into, but it was like my first year in Conley High School was probably like the best. Maybe because you know I was a new kid and you know it was like my first year in a new school and it was like a fresh start for me
Hmm.
and like I had like a lot of ups and downs and as soon as I guess you could say as soon as that year ended my sophomore year there I started like trying to like I started getting a little homesick. Like fuck, dude. Like, cause I will always see my friends post like on Facebook or I think
Yeah.
Twitter was still a thing back then. Like of them all having a good time, and I'm like, fuck, dude. Like I remember just you know going to a friend's house over there in or Stockton, you know, playing basketball. Like the simple
Yeah.
shit, dude is
Yeah.
like what I fucking missed, and I was like, damn. And then like started getting bigger and bigger. Like fuck, I'm getting homesick even more. Like boom, started hitting me. And like when I would go down to like homecoming, I'm like, fuck, that shit would hit me
Yeah.
even harder because you see all your friends that you grew up with, and you know, I tried going. I literally tried to move back my freaking junior year, like the
Yeah.
beginning of the junior year, but you know, I guess Theo and my dad just told me like, no, like just keep going. You know, it's just you know, just like a little phase. Oh, my screen turned off. But sorry for that. No, just yeah, just basically that, and you know, it just got harder and harder, and then eventually I moved back my like second semester of senior year, and you know, yeah, it's just I know that feeling of being homesick when you're away. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, especially for you, you were fucking
Yeah. I went like 20
states.
hours. Yeah. I went
Yeah,
20 hours away from home.
so I can't imagine like how you felt, but yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So how so going off of the school thing, how were you in school? Like how were you growing up in school? Like how what was your thing? What
Okay,
were you known for in school? Like
okay,
everything.
bro, I have two sides of this shit. Okay,
Yeah,
so
you got two stories, man. You
yeah,
got
okay,
two schools.
yeah, so
Same.
okay, in Stockton, dude, I was always, I guess people could say I was a shy kid and I was always a quiet one and, you know, I was this and that. But no one really knew, like, I guess you could say what was going on, you know, because,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I moved my freshman year, so I was like the last, you know, high school memory that I had there, or kind of like fully.
Yeah, full year.
And so, you know, my middle school years, you know, intermediate, like, those are like the most I guess you could say toughest times because you know that's when you know like I said my mom got sick so I was always a shy kid. I wouldn't say just because of that but you know because of other things like you know I was a little bit insecure with certain things of you know I guess myself and you know the looks you know I try to fit in and this and that so I was always like just I just kept myself to myself pretty much
Mm-hmm.
and I was always, you know, I guess that. And I think the the I guess you could say the reasoning on why I was always shy and never really spoke to anybody is basically because I was literally just, I guess you could say, sad. Not sad, but like I didn't know what the fuck was going on because
Yeah.
when my mom got sick, it was probably like the year of. Mm, I just remember being an intermediate. To be honest, it was like the last year. So what's the last year of intermediate over
It'd
there? Like
be
fifth
sixth
grade,
or
fifth or
fifth,
sixth grade.
fifth. It was fifth
Fifth.
because intermediate's fourth and fifth. Then you go
Oh,
six,
okay.
seven, eight. Then you go high school.
Okay, so I think it was fifth grade or maybe sixth. When my mom just
Maybe like
started
the
getting sick.
transitioning right there.
Yeah. So when she got sick, dude, like I started seeing things that were pretty tough for me, and especially when you're that young, like it was probably the most hardest times ever that I ever had to deal with, because I had to, see my mom just get constantly just getting sick and sick and sick, and
Yeah.
and there's a split gap where she beat the cancer the first time, but
Yeah, I
then
remember
again
that.
then it came back again, and so like it then all over it happened even 10 times worse because I was even more scared. But when the first time it happened, we're like, okay, it was just going through, and all of us were just fighting through with her, and she beat it, right? Okay, well, I go into middle school, like seventh or eighth grade, I think. That's when she just hit like just rock bottom with like her chemotherapy and all that other stuff. And
Hmm.
I would always go. Okay, some of the friends that I don't know who's listening or whatever, but I used to stay at some of my friends' houses, and uh, I used to try to sleep over, but I would always have like anxiety because or like home separation, not because I wanted to go home, but I just always wanted to make sure my mom was okay, and I was never like the person to like be open about my personal stuff. So I kept all that stuff inside. So like I remember times when I stayed at a friend's house one time. I was like, everybody's all asleep, and at night I was just say, "Fuck it, dude. I'm just gonna go walk home," and and I'll literally go walk home, or I'll call somebody to take me home. Uh, just to see my mom. But some of them never knew, and and I never told anybody that ever. So like, whoever's watching, that was like pretty much the main reason why I left. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
just basically because I always was worried about my mom, just constantly,
Yep.
24/7. In school, I didn't give a fuck like about my schoolwork. I didn't give a shit if someone liked me or not. All I cared about was my mom's health, and it really, you know, just I guess you could say, just sucked the life out of me as soon as my mom left. But you know, uh, dude, I lost track of what I was talking about, but what was I saying?
You were saying how like how you would stay over at friends' houses and
Oh
like
yeah,
just having.
yeah, and go back. I'm going back to like the times where I would stay at the house. I started seeing things change. While I was in school, like I had like during like those little football leagues, like what was it called?
Pee wee. Pee wee.
Not Pee Wee,
Pop
but
Warner.
no, or like the rec. I mean, it's all the same
Oh
shit, but
yeah,
like
rec ball.
so like pretty much yeah. So I would always have friends that come over to the house or whatever. But at the time when they would ask me to come over to the house, and that's when we lived at the brick house over there in Division Street. Uh, it was like so hard for me to like be like yeah whatever because you know at home, I ended up seeing like, my mom actually like shave her head at one time. Like she was just in the bathroom. I accidentally like went in and was like, seeing her shave her head, and I was just like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? And then I remember exactly what she told me. She was like, Mijo, it's okay. It's gonna fall off anyways, and I'll be okay. And I was just like, but you don't have to. I kept telling her like, you don't have to do that. Like, it's okay. Blah blah blah. And she's like, no, it's okay. I got a pretty wig or whatever. And I was like, okay. And so to come back to and fall into like my friends coming over, I was always like not embarrassed, but like afraid of what my friends would think, of
Yeah.
seeing my mom do all this kind of stuff because I was ignoring the fact that my mom was sick all the time. So like I wasn't trying to like tell them or whatever. So at times they would always come over. My mom would always put on a wig, and I'll be like, fuck, like I
You're
not
scared,
like I
like,
said,
oh, like they're gonna think we're weird, or they
yeah, like
think that,
something like
yeah,
that,
or they think
So
there's like she's crazy.
yeah, so I didn't want anybody to think stuff like that, or like because
Yeah,
also I didn't want them to like share it in school,
yeah,
and
because they're also kids, and like people are like, oh, like,
yeah,
hey,
so
Chris's
you don't know,
mom's weird, like
yeah,
that,
so
that family's crazy,
yeah,
yeah, like
so
little asshole kids
my
be doing that.
yeah, yeah, so like in my mind I was always terrified of that, and so I always just kept to myself, kept try to make my life private of all that, but you know I think when my mom passed away, it was like maybe eighth grade year. Yeah, eighth grade year. I remember exactly. Just dude, during that eighth grade year, my mom was like at her worst, bro. Because like I will always every day in the mornings to see her with her oxygen tank, and
Yeah,
it hurt me so much that I just said I just want to just say fuck school. Like let me just try to take care of you and try to be there because at the time it was when my mom was still here uh at the house. It was just me, my two brothers, and my sister. I think at the time was with her boyfriend, and she just had a kid, I think, at that time. And it was basically us four at a house, and we had what is it, Mitsubishi, I don't know how to
yeah, yeah.
pronounce that.
The Mitsubishi,
Yeah,
the
we had one of those cars. I
Mitsubishi.
forgot
Yeah,
what kind of other type it was. I think it was called, dude, I can't even think of it, but it was like a little small car. And I remember it was a blue car, and like she'll drive us all to school there. And dude, at one moment, like she was so sick, she couldn't even do nothing. And she ended up taking us to school, and she was all throwing up like constantly. And I was just like, fuck, dude, like let's just fucking stay home. Like in my mind, I mean, I wasn't saying all that, but I kept telling my
yeah,
mom like, hey, like, come on, let's stay home. We don't have to go to school. Like we're okay. Like it'll be okay. And she kept saying, no, no, Mio, it's okay. Like I'm gonna take care, whatever, whatever. So we go. She goes and takes Mark and Agent, at the same school, and then me at the middle school.
yeah,
And so here I am, just watching her, dude, constantly just pull over to the side, just throwing up, and on her oxygen tank on this other side, and I was just like, fuck, man, like I hate this shit. Like every single day, dude, I was just like fuck, like why did I hate seeing my mom sick like this. Like I wish God could like, tell me something, tell me what to do so I can make sure she'll be okay and stop all this
yeah,
sickness that because man, it was hard. Like just waking up every day, just seeing your mom just like constantly just not feeling good or whatever. But you know, as soon as she dropped me off, like I was like pretty much worried, dude. My anxiety was at its highest. Like when I got off that car, dude, and went inside all day in class, all I think about is like fuck, dude. I hope my mom made it safe. I hope nothing happened to her, and yada yada yada. And like
yeah,
as soon as the end of the fucking school bell rang, dude, I fucking ran outside, just looking for my mom's car and making sure she was there. And sure enough, she ended up being there, and it's like fuck. I kept asking like she was okay, if she needed anything, like whatever, yada yada yada. And so, dude, that memory of her like will always stick with me forever. Like it was crazy. It was crazy time. Like I don't know how long it lasted because like I said, she beat cancer the first time and it came
yeah,
back the second time. And just basically, to pick up on my school years, that as soon as my mom passed away, I remember everything happening. Like we're literally at grandma's house,
yeah,
and it was there when I was with my dad, and we finally, not to like, trash talk or like, you know, or like, I guess you could say trash talk or like talk bad about my dad, but my dad has a like hard problem with with drugs and alcohol, and so some of the times when my mom was sick, he kind of wasn't there, kind of. So, and if he's listening, it's nothing against that. It's like I said, everybody has issues, and I don't understand, or like not wouldn't understand, is like I how could I say it? I understand people's problems, and
Everybody's having their own battles they're fighting.
yeah. So I didn't, when I was younger, I didn't take that kindly, but as soon as I got older, like I was like, okay, like, I understand. You have your own thing going. I don't know what you're going through or whatever, but at that time we needed you at the most. But oh shit. But anyways, at the time when we went back with our dad, we're at grandma's, and he was clearly in, I guess, in hiding, with the law, because I guess, he had a warrant for his arrest. So we were there, and I remember clear as day, we were watching the freaking Cowgirls play the Rams, and yeah, so what kind of shitty days to start
Oh
off,
man.
but nah, just joking. But I slowly outside the okay, because they had a flat screen TV on like one corner, and then the right they had a long couch and like the window and the blinds, and
Yeah.
grandma had the blinds open, and I was sitting there and just watching the game. And then eventually I see my mom, or not my mom, my sister pull up in some car, and she's just like bawling her eyes out, dude. Like, and I was like, fuck, I already knew, but didn't want to like
Ass.
not ask, but like say anything, dude, because I
Yeah.
just felt like literally the world stopped, because I knew but didn't want to think that, and sure enough, they told me and my brothers to, like, just get in the car, like, we gotta go somewhere. And so they go and they take us to church or whatever. And let's put this into mind too, that when we finally went with our dad, because my mom started getting more sick and sick, she went with her family, and I guess her sisters. I don't know like any of the background story where my mom went or where she spent her time with, but it felt like it was months
Yeah.
that I haven't talked to our mom, and and while she was conscious, where she was able to talk. So I honestly don't remember the last time I saw her, like being able to talk. I don't remember her voice, as sad as that it sounds,
Yeah.
and I don't remember having the last conversation I had with her. And so anyways, it was probably like I'm gonna just guess, maybe like 2 or 3 months maybe, that I haven't talked to her. I don't know, I could be wrong. Whoever's listening, the family member, I really don't know, but it honestly felt like that. And so as soon as my mom or my sister was pick up on the story, she took us somewhere to like some church, and it was me, my brother, sister, and it was at I don't know if you know the Owens church.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
That one. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so it was there, and so they put us into like some little private room on the corner or whatever, and they had like 4 chairs, and it was like two of them, like the pastor and the wife, and so it was them two in the 4 chairs, and so we sat. It was like I said, it was like in slow motion, dude, like us walking in them chairs and finally sitting down to like figure out what the hell's going on, like we need answers or whatever. And so we sit down, and he was just telling us basically that our mom is pretty much about to leave this world, and just breaking down to us that our mom's about to pass away. And I remember just looking across to my brothers and sister, and we all literally were in disbelief, and we're just in denial. I was in denial, but wouldn't want to say it. And I was like, man, like this is not. This can't be real.
Yeah.
And so as soon as that happened, dude, I don't remember anything after that. Like after that day, I don't remember. Just all I remember is just like fast forward real fucking quick to where I think that night, uh, my mom was in our old house at Division
Where
Street.
everybody came over and like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like all I remember is it fast forwarded like to that moment where I see so many cars parked outside the house.
Yeah.
I see so many people outside our house just roaming around, talking. And then, dude, you know how we had like this brick like walkway
Yeah.
to the house? Like I said, it happened again of us just slow motion, just walking to that into the house, and finally, like as soon as we entered the house, it was like full of people inside in the living room, kitchen, and I hear a bunch of people just loud, like just like crying and just yelling.
Yeah.
And dude, as soon as we kept going, and you know how we had that hallway,
Yeah, the hallway, and you had y'all's room.
that
She was
yeah,
in y'all's room because y'all had to move.
yeah,
And
my she was the way
oh,
that
because
room was. Yeah, that was my room. The
yeah,
one
it
in
was
the
yours
far left
was
was,
marking agents, right?
yeah, and the one right across from theirs was my
Yeah,
sister's.
I remember. And then the one in
So
the middle was the bathroom.
yeah, and so as soon as we took a sharp left into that house, the the atmosphere of just dude, I just
You
can't.
could feel it like heavy, like it was just like
Yes,
heavy
dude.
atmosphere, like
Yeah. So
just straight up like it
like
wasn't good.
disbelief. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it was like that. Yeah, basically. So we go the yelling, the crying started getting louder and louder, dude. And so we're like, dude, this is not fucking good.
yeah, because I
Like I
remember
can't.
I remember that night because I remember I was at home and I was
Yeah.
asleep, and my mom, because I remember not talking to your mom for a while either, man. Like it's been a while since I was staying with y'all.
Yeah.
And I remember I was in bed because school night. But then I remember my mom waking me up in the middle of the night, and she was like crying, she was bawling, and that's when we had that van. Remember the van?
Yeah. The white van.
Yeah, the white van.
Yeah. Yeah.
She told us to get in the van, and then we had to go. She was like, "We gotta go stop at the police station first because something was happening over at the house."
Yeah.
And I was just
That's
asking, I was like,
crazy, dude.
"Yeah,
Honestly don't remember that. Like that's
yeah,"
crazy. I never knew your POV on that, or
yeah.
like how
Because I
you.
was just waking up in the middle of the night, and my mom was crying, like, "Mijo, we gotta go see Tia right now. We gotta see Tia right now." That's all she was saying. I was
Yeah.
like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?" She was like, "We just gotta go see Tia." And then I remember we had to stop. I remember we had to stop at the police station because I think someone was fighting over something,
Yeah.
and they told my mom, my dad, and I forgot who else was with us, but they had to go, "Hey, like, give the cops a heads up of what was going down."
Yeah.
And we ended up driving because I remember driving all the way over there. I just saw everybody, all those cars, everybody hanging out, and just the crying and like it
Yeah.
sucked, dude. I remember that getting there.
Yeah. Yeah. And when y'all bring that up, I think it was just family members just
Yeah,
fighting,
just arguing, just like yeah.
and I think that's
It was a
how.
tense moment. Like it's a
Yeah.
tense, like it's the sad tense moment. No one wants to be there.
Yeah. And back then, like I guess you could say is that both sides of my family, like my mom's side, my dad's side, they I guess they didn't get along, or certain people didn't, and especially they didn't get along with my dad because just how he was, with his addiction and whatever. So,
Yeah,
and on their standpoint, like I understand and like understood
the
the
moment.
hate and like the moment or like anything that they were feeling, because it's just it's a sucky moment. And so, and I guess I don't know. But basically, just to pick up on the story that I was, trying to say
Yeah,
is that basically when we turned to the left of that hallway, literally it was that first room to the right, and we kept getting closer and closer. And as soon as we get in there, dude, there were so many people there. Like it
it was
was a
packed.
small room everywhere around. It was so much people in there, and bro, as soon as people saw us, they even like broke down even more, because I mean, I guess the fact that we were her kids,
Yeah,
and so, dude, it was like the most traumatizing moment probably in my whole life, because I didn't know what to do. I just kept looking down, and then I saw her mom, but she looked fine, but I could tell she was just only breathing. She wasn't, conscious or anything. So we literally lined up on the wall, and I forgot who told us. Basically, it's just just to go hug our mom and to tell her that we love her and everything's gonna be okay. But I just only remember just telling her I love her and just seeing her there, and we just basically just there till she just took her last breath, and that was like again another memory that will always stick with me was because I mean that was just fucking I don't know how to explain it, man. It was the hardest time.
Yeah,
And I
I
guess
I
a
remember that too.
critical moment where I was just like, man, I really gotta figure out what the hell I'm gonna do because my mom was like literally my rock, and just, now she's gone, and I didn't really know who to turn to, or like she was literally like that moment of like she's not your mom, like not only she's your mom but like best friend and everything to you, and so when you lose that person it's just like fuck, man, I didn't know what to do.
And like it sucks too because like it doesn't hit you right away
Yeah,
because you're in your disbelief. You're like, nah, it's not true. Da da da.
that's
And
a
it's like
dream.
yeah, like it's a dream. Like you feel like it's a dream, or it's like it's not real.
Yeah,
And like later on, like I'll say probably like a few days later, it just like hits you like a ton of bricks, bro. Just like
yeah,
heavy, bro. 'Cause that I remember that's what happened to me.
yeah.
I was small. Was it? I don't remember how old I was. It was a while.
That's
You were
it's
eighth
the
grade.
year of 2007.
I was 8, and
Yeah, that's crazy.
I wasn't really like keen on like death or like people
Yeah.
passing away or like what was going on.
Mm.
But I just remember,
And dude, what was crazy is that we ended up rolling with you guys in the end.
yeah,
Like as soon as we left, we ended up rolling with y'all, and after that, dude, I don't even remember like where we went or like where we even stayed at because the freaking my mind was just everywhere, bro. Like I didn't like honestly just lost all types of memories. That's the last memory I had. It was literally going in that van with you guys, and we I don't know where we went. Do you know where we went or like
I don't even
everything
remember
else?
what happened after that either. 'Cause I remember when your mom finally went. Like I just remember like everybody like it erupted. Like everybody was like bawling hard and they were just like crying loud and everything. And like that's when like she went. And
Uh,
that's when they were trying to get us out of the house, like get
yeah,
us out of there.
yeah,
And yeah, I remember going into the van.
yeah. It's just crazy, man. But
Yeah,
yeah, I know when my mom passed away, we ended up staying there, for the funeral and
yeah,
everything, and that also, like I said, like critical moments in my life is where I literally had to watch, my mom, getting,
yeah.
to her resting place at a young age. Again, I didn't know how to handle it. I was just
It was,
like always sad, dude. I guess you could say I was probably depressed, man.
yeah,
It was like the lowest of the low, probably, and I didn't know how to handle it. And basically, when we moved, and or I think we stayed there. Like I said, my mom passed away my eighth grade year, I think, and we finished out my senior year. We stayed there one more year because that's when my dad had finally like gave himself in and or turned himself in into the law
yeah.
or whatever, and stayed, did his time. And as soon as he got out, we moved, and we moved to Pflugerville, and all that that love loss of my mom still lingered on to me, and I was just like, fuck, man, like my life is pretty much done. Like I don't know how to cope with everything, and so here it is. I come to freaking Pflugerville High School, not Pflugerville, Conley High School, and my life completely switched the total opposite of what I was and in Fort Stockton. Sorry, the fucking light. It's
Yeah,
just
you're
my
good.
freaking screen turns off. It goes on sleep mode. But uh, so basically in Conley, I was the total opposite. I mean, I guess you could say my friends there that I ended up making friends with literally kind of helped me, even though they didn't know my situation. They literally got me out of my shell to talk more and be comfortable with myself. And I ended up having more friends, like like constantly just every day I met someone new, and like it was just like like fuck, like this is a badass feeling. And not only that, you got that juice of you that new kid, so
Yeah.
it's that
New
popularity.
school, new me.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
like that
that's the
popularity, everybody wanted to talk to you, other girls or whatever, and so uh that happened, and I was just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, this is insane. Like, I'd never thought I would have this much people to talk to. And it and so when I brought that back to Fort Stockton to some of my friends, they're like, what the fuck?
yeah.
Like, you changed, you this and that. And I was just like, no. Like, I personally don't say that I changed. It's just that I guess you say I was just more comfortable with myself
Yeah.
to be able to talk about it. And I guess that's the only thing that changed. I just opened up. I was just out of my shell. But as personal, like personality wise, and like my character, it was always the same. And
It's
I've
just
always
you're
kept
finally
that.
able to bring it out.
Yeah, bring it to the light, and that was just it. And
Awesome.
so
Did you
I guess that
ever
character
did you ever play sports? Any
in high
sports?
school.
Yeah. High school
In
or
Conley, well, or where in which schools?
I mean either one.
Well, for Stockton, I played all. It's like, I mean, not all, but I
The
guess the main
core
ones.
ones.
Yeah, football and basketball. I mean, that's my love and joy of the other
Yeah.
hobbies of football. I love football and I love basketball. There I played there, and but when I moved to Conley, I just played football, and I wanted to play basketball, but it was like that feeling of like, man, like I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna play football because it's weird, dude. It's weird in sports that you gotta like literally work not only twice as hard, but like even more harder, because when you go to school like that, there's coaches that already have favorites, and
Yeah.
their starters in their mind. So no matter how like good or even decent you are, they won't start you for any reason. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, dude, I was like, I played offense receiver, and literally there's the starter of our team was like 5 foot fucking 7 and shit. I'm like,
All right,
okay,
Pee Wee.
like I when I moved there, I was literally third string, and I worked my way up to second, and I was like, okay, like what the fuck,
Yeah. That doesn't make
like
sense.
yeah. So I'm like literally busting my ass off, and my dad will always get pissed off at the coaches, like, why the fuck am I not playing and this and that. And they literally got into an argument, and I think that's another thing that kind of like had a downfall for me of not playing, because the coaches, they did it on. I felt like they did it on purpose, just to like not only piss my dad off, but
Just to be
piss me off.
dicks.
Yeah, just to be
Yeah.
dicks, just because of that moment, because he did it like in a game when we were playing, and I was just like embarrassed as fuck. But that happened, and yeah, just that's all I pretty much played. I wanted to play baseball. My friends wanted me to play baseball and soccer there, but I was just like, nah, dude. Like, I haven't even played that once. But now looking back at it, I wish I would have, because you never knew or never know like if I was actually good at it. But that's pretty much it. Well, I mean, just to pick up on my high school story life, is that in Austin, it was pretty fun. Like, I think that's my high school years there was pretty much like the best years of probably all my high school, and like other, it was like the best memories in school in general, I guess you could say, because I met so much good friends. I met my other best friend, Isaac, uh, and then when I finally brought him down to Fort Stockton to meet my other
Yeah.
best friend, like like my two worlds just clashed, and it was pretty much like the dopest thing ever. But
I remember that time too. Freaking Isaac when y'all came down.
Yeah,
where he came down for like spring break. It was spring break. I remember spring
yeah,
break, and we were all just hanging out in grandma's room because
yeah,
grandma was staying somewhere else. But I
yeah,
remember meeting him for the first time, bro. We were just hanging out. Yeah, we
yeah.
were friends too.
Doing like the cinnamon challenge and all that shit.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I wish I
dude,
had those videos, bro.
it was the funniest shit ever. But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's another guy that we play with, and he's like mainly like a fighter.
you
Whoever's out there, his name is Air Zero. He goes by the name Air Zero, but
you'll
his
be
name
on a
Isaac.
podcast sometime,
Yeah,
someday.
yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways, yeah, just basically that, dude. Then I stopped playing sports probably like my junior year because of that, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna probably just work out with Theo and
yeah,
you know, fuck it, and I just do other shit, and I just yeah, just literally nothing much I did in high school over there. It's just hanged out with my friends all the time, and in school and out, and eventually my second year or second semester of there, I moved back to Stockton because personally I wanted to move back a long time ago, like from what I told you before.
yeah.
I just I really really wanted to just be back and to graduate my final years with the people you grew up with. I personally felt like deep in my mind is that I wanted just to finish it all with those guys because
You
I mean with
started
these
it with
guys,
them, and you want to end it with them.
yeah. So
That's how I felt.
and then dude, I would always receive messages with my friends, like man, come back, man, like come back and you could probably come back and play football with us, come back, man, we need you, this and that. And I was just like, dude, that just even made it like even more wanting me to like move back, and it
Yeah,
literally drive me fucking crazy to where I literally worked hard in school for me to be able to move back because I literally had to like had I forgot how many credits or whatever, so I had to like literally stay after school, do extra credit, do this and that, like the fucking extra, like I don't know how to
like
explain it. I stayed after school,
this
stayed,
and more.
yeah, so had good grades to be able to go back, and so I did, and finally my dad let me go back and finish my years there, and yeah, that's pretty much how the cookie crumbled my whole school year's life, and yeah. What about yours, man? Your
Man,
story.
man,
You're too. You're also in the
I
same
got
boat.
two stories,
Yeah,
man.
it's high school in Fort Stockton and
Yeah,
high school in California.
yeah.
Let it roll.
So Fort Stockton growing up, um, I mean, I was kind of to myself in the beginning. I would say around elementary
Mm,
because I had to get surgery on my ankles. I remember going through that. I was in a wheelchair
yeah.
for a while,
Hmm.
and the story about that was just I was born with a mild deformity of my ankles. Instead of being straight, they were like brought in and pigeon toed. That's what it's called.
Hmm.
And I remember going on a field trip with my like. I remember it always bugged me. Like it always hurt. But
Yeah.
I remember going on a field trip to a zoo, and we it was like a good like hour and a half, 2 hours out of town, and we're just it was halftime. It was break time,
Yeah.
and there was a playground there, and we were playing around, and me being the little sightseer I am, just chilling. I was on the very top of the jungle gym, just there
Uh-huh.
sitting, watching, just looking around, looking at all that, like being able to look at all the animals.
Yeah.
Like, damn, this is pretty cool. And this kid comes up behind me and he pushes me off. Boom! And I fall straight down. And I was like, oh!
No
And
way.
I landed on my ankles like this.
Oh my god.
And then made it like 100 times worse. I was screaming, I was yelling.
And there's
Then,
some random kid.
well, see, there's, there's people telling me who it was, or like there's two kids that could have done it, but I don't
Yeah.
remember. One of them, I don't know if he'll even remember me or remember the like see this, but Justice. It was either Justice or some other kid. But I heard a lot of people saying it was justice. Like he was the one that pushed me off and freaking
Yeah.
started this whole mess.
Yeah. God damn.
Yeah. But yeah, I ended up like basically like destroying my ankles.
Yeah.
And instead of sending me home by ambulance or something, they kept me until the end of the field trip. And
That's
I
crazy.
remember they were giving me ice cream. And the ice cream was so cold that it would stick to our lips and it was peeling this like the skin off our
Oh
lips.
shit.
So it was just horrible.
Damn,
And I
man.
remember the bus ride home, like my legs were dangling off the seat,
Yeah.
and getting to the school, and like I remember the janitor rushing out with a rolling chair. They throw me in the rolling chair. They call my
Yeah.
parents. Like everything's going fast, boom, 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 boom. And I remember it was the first. We had our first van. You remember the first van? It was like a brown van with the
Yeah.
little like
Yeah.
stripe. Yeah, we had that
Yeah.
van, and we jumped in that. And they took us to the hospital and everything just to figure out what was going on, and just figuring out that both my ankles are messed up.
Yeah.
And so I remember getting coming all the way to I believe it was San Antonio over here, San Antonio, to get my ankles done,
Mhm.
fixed, and being both my legs being in a cast for probably like half the year or something like that. But I was being pushed around by everybody. I was the cool kid because everybody wanted to push me around in the wheelchair,
Yeah.
and I just remember that it kind of sucked. I mean, I wanted to play, then
Mhm.
just
Oh yeah, of course.
having
It's hard to
just
deal
having like later on in life having to overcome that, like having to retrain walking,
with. Mhm.
retrain running, getting used to how my ankles felt, and it wasn't just one surgery, one and done. It was like I had a total of probably like four more surgeries after that, or
Mhm.
six more surgeries after that, probably.
Mhm.
Because what they did, they put rods in my ankles to correct them,
Yeah.
and but growing up, everybody knew me. Like I felt like my class was pretty close together,
Huh.
and
You
everybody
were
knew
known
me.
as the Rhino.
The Rhino, yeah,
Yeah.
that started in intermediate. Yeah, I have the jersey right here on my wall. It
Yeah.
it's the very first jersey I ever wore to football, but they had the Rhino on it. But growing up, going through intermediate, having remember Thea Rosie? She worked there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
Yeah. At the
Um,
time, dude, when that when she was, I mean, when she was the librarian,
yeah,
that's when I was going to school there. I was actually living with her at one point,
yeah,
and yeah, that was crazy. But anyways,
yeah. Like I don't know, Thea, if you're listening to this, it's not talking bad, but
let's not talk about that.
but just living at Thea's is like it's a different experience, bro. It's weird.
Yeah,
Like
it is.
it's just I don't know how to describe it because I
Yeah,
remember
dude, I know. I know that
it's just
feeling. Like,
it's like another world, dude.
yeah, literally. I know exactly what you're
Like
talking
it just
about. It's
felt
crazy.
different because
And
I
it's hard to
remember.
explain on the podcast for everybody else, but it's like
Uh,
a different atmosphere. I don't know how to.
yeah,
It's like in a league of its own. I don't know.
yes, dude. Because I remember I had to stay there too because my parents were out of town or something, and
Hmm.
just it was just weird. But
I don't know. Dude, I wish I had like a.
just the word for it.
Yeah, it's hard,
But
but fuck.
yeah, every day after school I would go to her room because she always had snacks for us,
Yeah.
and I was always in sports. I remember growing up, I first did soccer. I was a goalie.
Oh
That
yeah.
was all right, but then it sucked because throughout soccer, football, basketball, or flag football, all that, like it was I had to get used to my ankles, dude, and just like it
Yeah.
hurt so much, man. Like I
Yeah.
had to wear braces and I had to take them off, and my legs would swell, and like it sucked. I would cry after practice or like
Yeah.
cry during practice, is how much it hurt,
Yeah.
and just just going through that really sucked. That would probably be one of my downfalls too, just getting surgery and just having to go through that.
Yeah.
And by the time I hit intermediate, I was already used to him, and I remember that's when like people started noticing I was good at football,
Mm.
and I was always on All Stars. I
Yeah.
remember the little All Stars thing where you get handpicked from each little
Team.
recreational team,
Yeah.
and you go play other towns. Um, then by the time I hit middle school I was see like everybody knew me.
Hmm.
Then I was outgoing. Like I'm still kind of like that now. I'm very outgoing.
Yeah.
I make friends easy, like fast. But
Yeah.
like I never show like the full side of me. I'm always like to myself. I always keep a part of myself to myself.
Yeah.
I don't really fully put myself out there. Like I'm still not comfortable with like some of my friends out here. Like I'm never fully out. Like
Yeah.
the only ones that I can really be myself with is probably like you or my best friend Brandon. My same name,
Brandon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Probes, my boy Probes out there. If you're watching this, I know you watch this. Shout out to you, man. Or Ivan, Serena, all these guys. Those are the only guys I can really be myself with.
Yeah.
And just middle school was kind of like it was there
Hmm.
because because I was still in elementary school when your mom passed,
Yeah.
and just after that, just everything just didn't feel right. Like everything just hit differently.
Yeah. Like it, dude. It's just weird, dude.
Yeah,
Like how much it just affected
like the
so much
impact she had
stuff.
on our lives. Like it was insane.
Yeah, it's hard to explain to everybody out there. Like, I mean, for some people that who knows what it's like to lose somebody, or like even a parent as well.
Yeah,
Like, it just hit differently because how my mom was as a person and just how she was with everybody.
yeah. That's how
Like
much impact
that.
she had on on people's
Yeah,
lives.
it was like something so special. Like I don't know how to even just know how to describe it,
Yeah,
but you know, at such a like again a young age, losing her, it was just everything for me and for everybody else that impacted. But
yeah.
yeah,
Then yeah, just every day after that, really it just life didn't feel right. And
like it was off.
yeah, like it didn't feel right whatsoever. And when middle school hit, like it just like I mean that's like angst days and everything. It hit ten
Yeah,
times harder, and it's just I never went out. I'm still like that now. Like I'm
yeah.
still kind of the same person as I was growing up.
Hmm.
Weird. I haven't really
And dude,
changed a lot.
and like when you think about it, like everything else didn't feel the same as well. Like family gatherings didn't
Yeah,
feel the same. Like parties didn't feel the same. Even like the little simple shit like birthdays, stuff, Christmas, like nothing felt ever the same. And I mean, it's kind of given, and like of course it's not gonna feel the same because you lose your mom. But like I said,
the impact of
just
that.
yeah, like how special she was, and like I don't know, that's just how I felt about it. But sorry, what were you saying?
No, then middle school hit. Then I remember sixth grade was like last year rec ball. Then boom, next year. All right, 2 days. Wake up. You get ready for practice for the school.
Yeah.
You finally start playing for the school, and it's like a big moment. You're like, oh, like I'm
Yeah,
playing
like,
for
oh
the
shit, I gotta
school.
go.
I'm playing
Yeah.
for a
2
school. Like,
days.
oh my
Yeah.
god. I remember
Yeah.
2 days and just uh working my just working hard for playing, and all the
Mm.
coaches already knew me because like so Fort Stockton is a small town if you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like basically everybody knows everybody growing up, and like people see each other's kids, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Like everybody literally knows everybody.
yeah.
We're Stockton.
And just like me coming up from rec ball, like they already had their eyes on me.
Yeah.
And I hit middle school, A team. I
Mm.
remember just playing. Then I remember starting track for the first time. That was fun. Shot put, discus.
Yeah.
And then school wise, that's when I started letting everything slip, like grades.
Yeah.
Like I like see like I'm not stupid. I'm too
Yeah.
smart for my own good.
Yeah. I
Cause
would
I
like
was
to
yeah.
say the same. Nah.
Because because I would only do the bare minimum to pass, and
Yeah,
just
like,
and you
hey,
would
serious
know what
pass.
you need to
Yeah.
pass.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to do this homework, and you just but like you don't do. Oh, I just need a 70 on this test, and like I'll
Yeah.
be
I'm
passing this
good.
class.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I always do. And
Yeah.
always like during through the weeks because it was by 6 weeks period, like six every 6 weeks you get like a
Yeah.
progress report, and the next six
Yeah.
weeks is your grades. And I remember my mom was always on me, bro, about my grades because they would slip down to like 60s and like
God
B's and
damn.
everything, and she would show up in the middle of the day, and she'd be sitting there with fucking grades, man, the grades there.
Oh
And I
shit.
get called to the office. I'm like, I already know what's gonna happen. And I get there to the like down the hallway, and you can see the lobby, and
Yeah.
I just see you there looking at me.
Oh
I'm just
my
like,
god.
she's like, yeah. She yelled down the hall, yeah, you know I'm here for. I'm like, God damn it!
Oh
Like I already knew. I was like,
yeah.
shit.
Damn, dude.
Then I remember getting surgery again in middle school on my
Mm-hmm.
right leg to take out that screw. And I remember that because I had a track meet the next day,
Yeah.
and I still went, still
God
got
damn.
first. That was like that was funny.
Flex.
Yeah, flexing. It was funny because everybody was just like, all the coaches were mad at their players. They're like, that dude only
Yeah.
has 1 foot and he's beating you.
Yeah.
But after that, uh, high school came up, and that was like, well, like that one, like sport, because growing up, going through school, like my life really centered around sports,
Mm-hmm.
because I always did every sport really. Because I even remember practicing with the swimming team. I remember doing tennis for a little bit. You remember summer rec? You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Some
doing
of it.
tennis there just to do it, and I just tried everything out. And but with football, basketball, baseball, track, like those are all the ones that I did, and that I
Mm-hmm.
really try to excel at. And everybody knew me for sports. Everybody knew me as being like a starter or like a star player or something like that.
Yeah.
But I remember starting freshman year, like Coach Taylor was there, and he was always breathing down my neck, like trying to get me to where I'm at. And I was always a heavy set guy growing up. Like I was when I was smaller, like yeah, I was big, but like it really showed like intermediate wise.
Yeah.
And that really like affected me during school and just my confidence and everything. Like I always try to like fix it. I always want to try to fix it, but I can't do it because I start slipping or I just get myself in my head again and all
Yeah.
that stuff. But yeah, so freshman year, I remember I wasn't doing the best I could, and I knew I wasn't doing the best I could, but it was because I was like severely out of shape and like
Mm-hmm.
couldn't run, but I was still starting, so I
Yeah.
was just getting by like I said, too smart for my own good,
Yeah.
and just doing what I need to start. Like if like you piss me off or something, and like I'll go all out and like then show my true colors,
Yeah.
and then they're like, where's that all the time? Come on, man.
Yeah. I hate that
Um,
shit. I hate it, but then I like it at the same time. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's just how I am. But yeah.
Then junior year, I would I would move to San
Oh
Bernardino.
yeah. You moved to San Bernardino.
Yeah, 20 hours away from small old Fort Stockton to California.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big, like I said, cultural shock, and just like, because I went from a public school to a
Private.
private school, and that
Uh,
was a big change, dude.
yeah, I can imagine.
And the atmosphere there was weird. You had to wear like I mean, we had to wear uniforms before.
Yeah, and
'Cause that's
in high school back then in Stockton,
yeah,
you had a uniform there, and it was
yeah,
pretty much whack. You had to
yeah,
have like khaki
khakis,
pants
yeah, khakis
and
and a
a
polo shirt.
collar.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that was the wackest shit ever in Fort Stockton
and we couldn't
high
wear
school
shorts.
history. I mean, like I get it, but then again, like I don't know. I
I
don't
did
know what the
not.
whole motive it was for them to even start that. Just
Yeah,
because probably they wanted everybody to like have the
look the
same
same.
thing, look the same,
Yeah,
instead of like having other kids feel like, oh, these other kids have expensive clothes and I don't, stuff like that. But
yeah,
then people don't really give a shit about that.
yeah.
I didn't,
Me either. I was
and
like, oh,
sometimes
cool, you
I
got
would wear
Jordans.
shit, old shit, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know who it was affecting, but Anyways,
It was
sorry.
affecting them enough to change it.
Yeah, and they changed it back,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they're done.
I swear,
Anyways,
dude. So when I got there, like that was weird because it was a gated community or a gated a gated school.
hmm
So showing up there in the morning, it was weird, dude. Like then like the coaches already knew about me, and like some of the teachers already knew about me because of my dad. On my dad's side of the family, they live in California,
yeah.
and unfortunately, on my dad's side, his sister passed away from cancer as well, and she was actually a French teacher at that school. So that's why
Oh,
we
dang,
yeah,
what?
she was a French teacher at that school, and we were able to get a discount because of that. Because I
That's,
mean, private school was expensive, dude.
damn, I didn't know
Yeah,
you had to fucking pay for that shit.
yeah, you had to pay for it,
That's
and
crazy.
I remember like, are you Brandon? And I remember having to fill out these forms and everything,
hmm
and the they had an option of so you put your name, and they're like preferred as. You could put a nickname,
It was
and
right.
I put
You put
Rhino. So they all knew
damn.
me as Rhino, and they all had my school documents, Rhino, like my attendance sheet, Rhino, everything was Rhino. So that's what everything like really like everybody like it nailed
Knew you.
everything on the head.
Yeah.
And my coaches are like, "You Rhino?" Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, yes sir. How you doing?" Da, da. It's like, and I remember because we were late actually. We were supposed to show up there like 2 days before, and
Yeah.
just the trip was too long, and I skipped their 2 days, and supposedly that was supposed to be like my like breaking in and like trying to see where I was gonna be, like
hmm
where, and I was nervous, dude, because I was like I've always been a starter.
You
Like
didn't know where the fuck they're
yeah,
gonna put you.
I was like, dude, this is to be the first time I could be able to play. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel,
hmm
and sure enough, I show up. Coaches are already talking to me and like trying to figure out how I am because you can almost see how a player is when you first meet them,
Yeah.
how they act, how they train,
Yeah.
and all the football players. Are you the new guy? You the new guy from Texas? The apparently like a lot of rumors like spread about me. Like they're like, I heard you were ranked already. The like
Right.
yeah, I heard you were ranked in Texas. The I was like, damn, I guess so. I was like, I don't follow that stuff.
yeah.
But then they all started calling me Big Tex or Texas,
Yeah.
and
That's
that was a new thing too. I was like, damn,
yeah.
yeah. And classes there were hard. I struggled big time there,
Mm-hmm.
and most of it was just like being homesick and like not really
Yeah.
wanting to be there.
Yeah.
And like I was
It's
failing hard. Like
understandable.
I was going like hard F's, dude, like bad.
Mm-hmm.
And
And like it wasn't because like the work was hard, but it was just hard as in for you to
motivation.
concentrate and
Yeah.
motivating you wanting to do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's understandable.
Then next was I remember playing football, showing up first day. I was dying, dude. I wasn't used to the atmosphere
Yeah.
and just like how they did things. Like everything was different, and they were all about tradition. They had these traditions, dude, and like it was pretty cool because they did everything to the T every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is pretty cool. Like we should have traditions more over there in Fort Stockton.
Yeah. And what were
And
their traditions?
so we had a mat in the locker room that had the logo on it. Never step
Mm.
on the logo.
Never step
Then
on the line.
yeah, then every day you go there. It was a laid back school. It was an open school, so like it wasn't in a building. It was like out in the open, and the
Yeah.
classes were outside, but like in buildings. Like it was kind
Yeah.
of, and basically you just walk around everywhere. And there was a lot of times where I got lost, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Where the fuck is this? Where the fuck is that?" And
Yeah.
it was a closed campus, so we had to eat lunch there. But they had like badass, big ass burritos, and
Mm-hmm.
like they made all their food there, and it was all fresh stuff, and it was cool. Or they would like have like special deals from like McDonald's, or they have like Pizza Hut.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, but uh, I lost track where I was.
You're talking about how it was just open school and just the traditions they
Oh yeah,
had there.
the traditions. We for warm ups, you always like you would do the stretches,
Yeah.
and from the stretches you had to run in line. You had to run around the field. Then you go line up a certain way. Then you do a certain breakout, and like it had to be everything to a T. And if you messed up, all right, again. So you kept on running and running.
Damn.
Yeah. And it was basically a pregame ritual of
It's
what we did
crazy.
there. Then also as a like when we work out, we would every Wednesday. I
Hmm.
think it was Wednesday. Uh, we go lift weights and do all this other stuff, and then we'll have a meeting in the weight room, and we will talk. Coach would be talking about his motivational speech and everything,
Yeah.
and then I'm not supposed to be talking about this, but not
Yeah.
that
Some
traditions of
classified
some
shit.
tradition. But then we would do this like this chant. I forgot the chant, dude. But we do this. We turn off the lights, and we do this chant, and like we always throw someone in the middle. Like we'll punch each other, dude. We're like just
Mm.
coach was fine with like that was tradition, dude.
Yeah.
And you turn off the light, you start doing the chant, and at the end of the chant, you just start going crazy, and you just start socking everybody, punching everybody. It's like a mosh pit in there, dude. It was crazy, uh,
Yeah.
and like it would get real crazy, and turn on the light, and everybody's back to normal,
Damn.
and we go off. Then finally Thursday, the night before the game, if we won the game before,
Hmm.
we would sing a song like every time after workout. We would sing a song like it would be whatever coach picks. So it'd be like freaking "Mama, I knocked you out." Like we would just jam at the end of
Yeah.
practice every time if we won. Then if we didn't win, like we would have to go run. And so we always we were based we so we would push through running. I remember that. Dude,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of stuff going through my mind about this stuff.
It's
It's
just
like
fucking
flooding
flowing.
in, dude. It's flooding
Yeah.
in.
Damn.
And yeah, that school was just crazy to me. And
Yeah. Eventually, you just move back to
yeah.
Stockton
Well,
after.
then I started getting into rugby. My friends brought me
Oh,
into rugby. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I just started feeling shitty about myself, feeling shitty about school, just not caring about anything.
Yeah.
And finally, like, my mom was having trouble about work and everything. She was stressing out. So it was
Mm.
just me, my mom, and my brother. And we just came back. I was like, I just want to graduate with my friends, dude. Like, I was
Yeah.
sick of it.
Yeah.
Like, not being like rude or like, it's not anything that the other, like, my friends in California. It's like, it wasn't y'all. It wasn't anything. It's just
Yeah.
the circumstances. It wasn't right for me.
Yeah.
And going back to Fort Stockton, that was pretty crazy too. Because I remember telling everybody, "Nah, I'm not coming back." Because somehow word got out. I was like, "Nah, I'm not coming back. Like, I'm stuck here. I'm graduating here." And I had a hoodie on. I was walking around the school in Fort Stockton. I had a hoodie on. I had to go sign up again, so I was signing up.
Yeah.
And like the bell ring, and like everybody's in the hallway, and I'm in the counselor's office. And I'm just like
Yeah.
hiding, and I see my best friend Probst and Ivan and all them like walking around talking.
Yeah.
And I lift my hoodie up and I look at them, and we lock eyes.
Yeah. It's just like
and
that must have
and
been a.
their eyes lit up, dude. Like like they're like Marriott's back, and like
Yeah.
everybody flooded the counselors room, dude. Like everybody
Yeah.
in the hallway just funneled in, bro.
Yeah.
And they're
That
like,
must have been an awesome
Brandon's
moment.
back, Brandon's back, and like everybody's like, oh my god, like when did he come in? I was like, literally last night.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm back, guys. And I was like, I'm signing up and I'm back. Because I told them I was just visiting.
Yeah.
I'm just visiting, guys. Because I remember going to where did I go? I went to some event. And, like people were already there, and I just told them, hey guys, I'm visiting. Don't get used to this.
Yeah. I'm just here for a little bit.
Yeah. Then everybody got happy.
Yeah.
Then
I
high
lo-
school went through. That was crazy.
yeah. That must have been an awesome moment for you. I
Yeah,
bet.
just realizing like how much like everybody missed me, and just
Yeah.
like how much like people like how much.
I'm looking forward to see you.
Yeah, like that was crazy. It still
Yeah. It's
it still
something you'll
blows my
hold
mind.
forever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like one of my ups right there. Just like everybody like coming. Oh my god, he's back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like a celebrity that day, dude.
Yeah. I kind of have the similar, pretty much
When you
moment
came
too.
back,
Yeah. I
Chris
mean, when
is
I came back,
back.
yeah, like what the hell, Chris? Yeah. And like everybody for some reason thought I lived in Houston. And whoa, where'd y'all live? You lived in Houston? No, I lived in Austin. Like, yeah, calm down, whatever. But yeah, everybody pretty much had, they're excited to see me. Some of
Yeah,
them I never talked to ever in my life in school or like when I lived there, talked to me, and I was just like, what? Like you, like for the people I went to school with, some people were like stuck up. They're too
yeah,
good for one another. Some of them, and so some of them I really didn't want to talk to because not only were you like some people there were dicks or like
yeah,
want to be cool, whatever. Like for the people who I did talk to, I went back and only talked to those certain people because they were the ones who really wanted to engage just talking to me, just knowing me as a person. And, I
yeah,
never want to go outside that circle that I had there that I remembered. So when I moved there, nothing changed. Like I still been the same me. And that was
yeah.
it. And yeah, I had a similar kind of moment with you. But
Yeah, when I came back, I was with my friends again, like
yeah,
my crew.
yeah, your crew, basically, yeah. Your
But
day ones.
see, like the thing with like a lot of people, I won't call myself like throughout high school, throughout everything. I wouldn't say I was popular per se, because I mean I was popular, but I wasn't popular.
Yeah.
If it kind of makes sense, because everybody knew me, then I knew everybody. Then even people like from other schools knew me, but
Yeah.
I never did anything with anybody. I was always
Yeah,
home. I
yeah,
wasn't invited to anything. I wasn't invited to parties. I wasn't invited to kickbacks. I wasn't invited to anything. So I was just home all the time.
yeah.
And that really like messed with me too. Just like I'm friends with all these people. Like, how come I'm not
Right
getting
there.
invited to things? Or like, how come I'm not hanging out as much as they hang out with other people?
And dude, thinking about that now, I could say that I was in the same boat as well. I mean, there's only like one friend that I always just went to the house to, but because I mean I don't know, we were just that close. I just ended up being only to his house and nobody else's. I
Yeah,
mean, of
like
course,
it's literally like your little small group. That's the
yeah,
only people that you really hanged out with because
yeah,
like they're the only ones that actually like did stuff with you.
yeah. And thinking about it, like I never got invited to certain things, like it could be like the little things, like in fucking dances or like
Yeah, I never went to dances. I never went to like
parties. Never went.
parties. Yeah, like I never been to those things.
Yeah,
And like I see people over here now, like so like being over here in Austin or like
hmm
Pflugerville, like just seeing like all these kids because where I work, like there's a bunch of kids here,
yeah,
and just seeing how they act and like how what they do, I was like,
yeah,
dude, what the fuck? Like I never did any of this. I was like,
yeah,
you guys are a bunch of crackheads, dude.
yeah.
And
It's crazy, man.
I'm like, honestly, I'm
Different
kind of glad
generation.
about it too, but also like it's a bummer, dude. Just like everybody like being your friend, but not
Yeah,
because I feel a lot of people like don't if you're listening to this like don't think of like dogging on you. Just
yeah,
how I'm saying how I feel.
yeah.
Like
And this
I
is
will
what this
see,
is about.
and it sucks because you'll find out through other people or other things before like you found out.
You get yeah,
Yeah,
and that's the sad thing. Yeah,
like you always see it on Snapchat or Facebook or like Twitter. You're
yeah,
like, what the hell? How come I wasn't invited to this?
yeah. For real, for real.
But I was always like Brandon's house or going with Ivan or like spending time with those guys.
Yeah, you always had like those literally couple, like maybe two or three people you just always hang out outside, but like of other major big events, like like we said, birthday parties, etc., etc.
Yeah,
They were never. I was never invited, and I guess you could say you weren't either.
yeah,
And I could say too that it makes you feel some type of way, like what the fuck,
yeah.
like you're left out, like
You
like are
motherfuckers.
we really friends or like what the hell?
Are you just
But
saying we friends?
yeah,
Yeah, but no, like with Brandon, like now, I his family's my family. Like we have that bond now, and like literally every time I go back, I literally mostly stay over at his house
yeah,
just because they miss me and I miss them, and like that's like another bond. Like you have when you have that bond with somebody, like it's crazy. It feels different,
yeah, for sure, for sure.
and
But
I'm pretty sure you have the same feeling with your friends, some of
yeah,
your friends.
I like for me, I only have like those two types of friends, and they'll always be forever. My my best friend Daniel, my best friend Isaac. Like
Yeah,
the thing was with them two, like I can tell you exactly how and why they're my best friend. Okay, because with Daniel, when I was just always coped up and in myself, always shy or whatever, I could say he was like the same way. I guess you could say a little bit, and we ended up having one class, dude. Literally one class together with them our whole just school year life. And
yeah,
I think in our senior year, I ended up having him in my first period class, but way back then, he was just always there and just the only one talking to me. And we had the same interests. Everything. We clicked instantly, and the good
yeah,
vibes, like that best friend vibes and brother vibes, and eventually we ended up being more like just being fucking buddies, dude. Ever
yeah.
since we were little.
Just that feeling. You're just like, ugh.
Yeah, and so we're just school years go by, freaking summers will go by. I always go to his house,
Yeah,
and his family was like my family. They treated me like family, and I thank them for that because during those hard times, they helped me kind of feel better, and with them too, like with Daniel, like if he's listening, if you're listening out there, dude, out of all the times where I always just ended up going home, it was just because my mom's situation and whatever. And I always wanted to spend as much time as for my mom. But um, when my mom passed away, he was literally like the first person I kind of like saw. So me seeing him there was like, damn, dude, like this dude's literally my brother. And he came and shook my hand. I mean, when we're that young, we didn't know like to hug or whatever. So it
Yeah.
was just, and I thought that was pretty funny at the moment. But like, we just shook hands. We're
Oh
like,
man.
but really truly,
Yeah.
man, that was like a big ass hug moment. But we're just too little to even understand or a
Yeah.
couple things like that. But I'll be forever grateful for that with him. And yeah, man, he's literally like a brother to me. And with Isaac, man, when I first moved up here, this motherfucker hated me, and probably for no fucking reason. And I still dog him to this day on certain occasions. I always bring it up, like, dude, like, why the hell did you not like me or whatever? And how we met is it's crazy. Is when I first moved down here or down there, uh, basically it was in football. And long story short, I ended up getting sick because of the humidity. It was fucking myself up because I had asthma. I
Yeah.
developed asthma when I was a little bit younger for playing too much outside in the snow, and ended up getting fucking pneumonia and shit. But
I remember that.
uh, I ended up getting sick, and I fucked up my lungs, and I had it just fucked me up big time when I moved to Austin. I couldn't breathe or whatever, so I literally had to sit out. Well, when I had sat out for like the remainder of the time, a good time, I ended up being in the trainer's room, and that's where I met Isaac and the two other couple friends, James and I forgot who other their names are. And I remember Isaac being like, like just fucking always giving me like a dirty ass look, and just in his mind, I could tell he was talking shit. And eventually, later down the line, I was like, okay, I'm still gonna fucking be friends with him, even though he was giving me the cold shoulder. I'm still
Yeah.
gonna, be cool with him. And I always sit with him at lunch, talk to him, blah 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 blah. And then again, the same thing happened with how me and Dana just, the good fucking, interests of certain things. Like, we had the same interest in certain things, basically, and we just clicked, and then eventually we were just fucking buddies. And later down the line, he asked him like what the fuck did you think of me? Like I knew something was up, and he was like,
Yeah.
dude, fucking, I didn't like your ass. And I was like, what? Why? He's like, I don't know. I
Oh
just saw you, and I
man.
was like, you don't fucking belong here. And I was just like, damn, motherfucker, like
Oh god.
whatever. But I mean, I guess that's what I guess you could say. He's just my buddy because even though he didn't like me at the moment, once he got to know me as a person and who I was and what I was about, he we're pretty much the same. And that's what I guess you could say. Just we just end up being that brotherly bond with him.
Yeah.
And as soon as that happened, I had literally, I like to say, two best friends from both worlds that I've lived in. Oh shit, my fucking camera can't focus, but
Where are you,
uh,
Chris?
yeah. So my buddy from my childhood, and then my buddy from, when I ended up moving up down here, and when I was starting to like learn who I was as a person, and my fucking all my trials and fucking of life, challenges. That's who I met, and so yeah, it's just crazy. Those are my two
Yeah.
best friends, and those are my ride or dies.
Yeah. Like over there in California, like basically the whole football team was my ride or dies, and like Deanna, like all these other like all the ones that really like came to me first. Like I was like, all right, they came to me, so
Yeah,
they should be so they're interested in me.
yeah,
But basically, like the whole Nicholas, Joshka, Brandon, Eddie, Steven, like all
yeah,
of them, and like Cortland, like those guys, like Savon. I remember Savon, tall ass mother. Fucking dumbass. He was funny, bro. He was always doing stupid shit, asking stupid questions or doing
Yeah,
something. He always did something that got us in trouble. But
yeah.
like those guys, those guys are the ones that really hung out with them after football practice, after school. Like we always did things, and like we always hung out. Habibi, I remember Habibi. If you're watching this, man, I remember. I
I
remember.
remember
Yeah, I
you.
remember you, motherfucker. I talked to
And
him like
like,
a weeks ago, like a couple
yeah.
weeks ago.
Hold on. To not getting anything mixed or twisted, I have other good friends out there, and
Yeah,
there's no. It's not like I'm trying to single out my two best friends, and but not. It's not like that. These guys are like, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I'm pretty sure you know what I mean
yeah.
by
No,
that.
I know what you're talking about.
It's just these guys have literally helped me in my life and in certain ways where it made me as a person who I am today. I guess you could say.
Yeah,
They helped me be a better and stronger person. So that's what it is. And there's no bagging on anybody else that we're friends
yeah,
with or whatever. But yeah, sorry, it
yeah.
cut you off. Yeah.
No, you're good. And then yeah, those guys it's like everybody had the same interests. Everybody had it was crazy. Just felt different. And
Yeah.
like with Brandon and Ivan, like we all had the same. Like it was just like you click. Like
You
when you
feel
meet
it.
them, and it's just like,
Yeah.
and you're just like, damn, bro. Like these are these motherfuckers.
Yeah. These are it.
Yeah. Then
It's
like you
just
know
like that
those.
spiritual bond. Like I don't know how to
Yeah.
fucking say it, dude.
Like, I know what
Like
he's doing
damn.
right now. I don't even have to
Yeah.
call him. No.
Yeah.
But
Goddamn.
yeah. Then, dude. Then after high school, bro, I remember us living together. You remember living
Yeah.
together for the longest time, even
Me.
in high school as well
Yeah.
too. I
Yeah.
mean, our
Me and
last
Brandon
years.
have literally our lives linked up to one another's each and every single time, and it's weird, and it feels like we're just always destined, dude. Like just to fucking be in the same situations, or like I don't know how to explain it. It's weird, dude, and not weird, but like it's cool in a weird way.
Yeah,
Like we lived with each other, we fucking watched each other grow, and et cetera, dude. And it's crazy
yeah.
to what
Just
we've
seeing
become
like
now.
each other grow up and like becoming the guys that we are now.
Yeah,
And it's funny, bro, because like just and like the stuff going through our stuff, like it's funny. All the
yeah,
stories we have,
yeah.
like I
All the
remember,
funny stories,
yeah,
good
funny
stories,
stories
bad stories, everything we would like to share with everybody.
like
But
that. Like even so, like growing up together or like living together, we know our ticks. We know like the certain little things we do and like the
yeah,
funny things we do. How we always
just
like bust each other's balls over our like we mess up our speech or something,
yeah,
or um our dreams. We always have the same crazy ass dreams about some
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Like we
Everything, man.
talk in our dreams. Like that's we always mess with each other. And it's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, dude. We had a lot of fucking good, like just memories. I would just say memories in general, like with me and you, like our conversations, like if when we lived with each other, it's like those times where, or the moments felt like those conversations you have in the car,
Yeah.
like those deep ass
'Cause
conversations, and like
there's
there's each
always
moments, yeah. Oh
no
my
no
bad.
no 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 you're good. No, like just all those times of us like me picking you up from work and just
Yeah,
pulling in and just sitting there
yeah,
with the music going and like sometimes it just be us sitting there
yeah.
just
We're
looking.
like just there.
Yeah, or then we would talk about things and like we get
Yeah,
closer and just like talk about our
yeah,
day or just go off on rants and stuff.
yeah. And it could be about anything, like to the fucking. It could be good, bad, weird. It
Yeah,
didn't matter what the
weird,
fuck it was. We just fucking vent the fuck out.
dude.
Like we're fucking hotboxing our fucking emotions out of that bitch. Like literally.
Yeah,
And
like
it felt good too, because I mean, it's not that we can't talk to anybody else, but it's weird that we could be ourselves and let each other know of certain things.
Like we're here
It's
for each other, and we don't judge each other.
yeah,
We
it's
accept each
just a
other.
weird, yeah,
Yeah,
weird. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a brotherly bond. Like
yeah,
it's just weird.
that's
But
exactly
yeah,
what it is.
yep. And
And just like, dude, just so many things, man. It's hard. Like
yeah,
literally, this is gonna be like a multi-podcast
yeah,
series.
yeah. Like we're literally just talking like maybe like little stories of like our origin, like selves, like our like because I kind of basically explained in this one is that you know how I kind of grew up and with my mom struggles with my mom and yada 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 and with
Going through
you,
school and
yeah. And dude, like you just said, you hit it on the head. Like we're probably gonna have multiple podcasts of like different shit because our lives, we've been through so much, dude. It's
yes,
not
dude.
like it's not even funny. We're not even exaggerating.
Like if you listen to this and like or listen to more, dude, y'all guys won't even understand. Y'all think we're making it up. You
Yeah,
think
like it
it's
would
all
not
fake?
make sense to you at all. And
It's the stuff we put
to
ourselves in.
yeah, and most of it is good, and most of it is pretty bad. But
The
hopefully, we
good,
get to share with you guys and make y'all full aware and understand how we are as a person. How and yeah, some of you might be surprised how we are to this day, and
yeah.
how we're still able to keep on going. But it's pretty crazy.
Like literally, like a sneak peek. I I set myself on fire before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much. And I was there.
I was. He was there to witness it, and I was
I was
there.
there. Still
and,
gaming. Dude,
and
we could talk
then
about like yeah, man. Little ass stories there and us
then hit
meeting.
Chris being there, or like literally, he was almost like he's literally the first one I told when I got in my first car accident over here.
Yeah.
I dropped him off at work, and I was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
get in
I
a
got
car
one.
accident."
Fucking crazy.
Literally,
And
like
wait, did we already talk about like the encounter with the fucking
the
crackhead?
crackhead. Yeah, the very
Yeah.
our very the first one that we did
Yeah.
together.
And then
Yeah.
we fucking, what else? What other crazy shit?
Remember with Cecil when
Yeah,
we had
Cecil now.
Cecil. Cecil was
Yeah,
another friend that we had together,
yeah.
and
Out in
he lived with
West
us for
Texas.
like a good minute.
Yeah.
And so in over there, well, okay, in our house or in dude
In a house. We
in
live.
a house. So back in Fort Stockton, we basically owned the whole street.
Yeah, basically.
We all lived in the houses on the street before. Like literally, it was like our grandma, me, then Chris. Then it was our grandma, then us, then Chris moved to a brick house.
Yeah.
Then everybody moved into grandma's house at one point. Then
Yeah. It's
everybody
just like a
moved in.
rotations
Yeah,
of house in that block.
yeah. It was literally we were always on that block.
And it ain't look, let me picture this for people out there who are listening. It's not like we're not trying to bash our block either, but it's not like all fancy either. It's
Hell
like
no.
it's
We had
like
dogs running around. We
fucking
had
yeah,
cats everywhere.
you
There
know,
was nothing.
yeah, pretty much nothing. And
That was the best nothing we had.
yeah, like I said, it's
uh,
we're never gonna forget where we grew up at, and but we stay humble from that. But
but living in the blue house where our Theo was living at the time,
yeah,
the bathroom door, you could open it with a butter knife,
oh yeah,
and then we would always mess with each other. And if someone's taking a shower, we always
oh
open
yeah,
it and we always fuck with each other.
oh yeah,
And I remember, I think it was Chris's turn in the shower, and me and Cecil were in the kitchen, and we're like, all right, we got a Tupperware, and we were looking through the fridge, and there was a bunch of expired stuff in there, and we're like, you know what, fuck it, like, we're gonna put it all in here, and we did it. We mixed it. We made this big old like goopy, lardy
Pace.
paste, dude. And it was a
Ugh.
bowl, dude. It was a bowl. It was a giant bowl.
Yeah, and it turned red. I think
Yeah, it was like a
red.
red purple, dude.
Yeah.
And Chris is smart ass. He wasn't even in the shower yet. He just started it, and he was waiting for us because he knew we were gonna come.
Yeah. I think I was behind the door.
You
I
were. So the thing that we did.
think.
So we sneaked up
I
there
waited.
because if you get to the hallway, like if you step wrong, like the whole house creaks.
Yeah. So you know where the fuck your
Yeah.
location has been fucking
Yeah.
compromised. You know where the
So
fuck
you
they were.
gotta step slowly and carefully, and we opened the door, and I think I had it in my hand, and then me and Cecil walked through the door, and you're like, "Not today, bitch!" And he
I
tossed
tipped
it
it
on
to
us.
y'all.
Yeah, it got on us, and we're like,
Yeah, just throwing up.
we started
Constantly.
like heaving, and you were laughing. And then we picked up, we started getting like handfuls and just like slinging it at each other
Yeah,
and just
get
throwing
each
it
other's mouth.
and throw it. And yeah, if you listen to this, we fucked up the house big
Yeah.
time. It went from
Yeah.
it went from the bathroom to the hallway to the kitchen to the living room, everywhere.
Yeah.
All this purple red shit was everywhere, and it was
Yeah.
nasty. And I
Yeah.
remember, was it you or was it Cecil? Like someone grabbed it and they rubbed it in their mouth, on their mouth.
I think it was me. I think I tried chasing Cecil and I accidentally like, dude.
No,
Honestly,
or
I
what?
don't
No,
know.
I think
It was me probably. I don't remember. I just remember throwing up.
you did it to me, didn't you?
I don't
You went like
remember.
that, and you go like that, and I was like, I was like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
thinking about it
We
right now,
all
my
started
stomach
throwing
kind of
up.
hurts.
Yeah.
But oh my god, dude! And literally, it was everywhere, and
Yeah.
we all took turns throwing up in the restroom because it was awful.
Yeah.
And then
And
we
it
all
went
took
like,
we all took showers. We all did a truce,
yeah. And
and
then
we
we all
were
just
sitting.
cleaned up.
Yeah, we were sitting in the living room for a minute. We were just there on our phones. I remember we were on
Dude,
our
I have
phones.
that video.
You
I
do?
have that. Yeah, it's on my fucking iPhone right now. Hold on, let me see.
We're
Oh, wait. Anyways, I what?
yeah, we were sitting there on the couch on our phones, and then
Oh.
I think it was you or I think it was Cecil, and Cecil was like, "Dude, I think your Thea's gonna come back from work pretty soon."
Bro, I have it, dude.
No way,
It's from
bro.
December 31st, 2014.
Oh my gosh,
Look,
dude.
look. I mean, it's just the aftermath of what we just sat down and just like, I have like flour on my ear. Watch, hold on. Let's see if I could show you. Look,
Oh my
look,
god.
there's you, and then there's Cecil.
Oh man.
You still have
The
fucking flour on
aftermath,
your
we're
face.
just
Chilling after we made the truth.
Dude.
Yeah, that was December 31st, 2014,
Oh my
dude.
god, dude.
At 10:30
Dude.
p.m. That's
And-
crazy. And I have
dude.
the video of you setting that thing on fire.
Wait, no, that was the cinnamon challenge.
No. This was the
Because I
the-
set the thing on fire at the
No.
at the blue house.
Oh, it's right here.
Nah, dude. I think this was
No, it was at
look the rug. You see the rug, the
oh,
rug.
okay, that one's a different one then.
I think that might have been the same time.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
look, that was you.
that was the next day because I learned how to do it.
Oh, 'cause you-
I know how to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it.
Yeah, but like there's brown and yeah, you set the thing on fire.
Oh wait, no, that was the blue house. That
Yeah.
was the blue house. I thought it
Yeah.
looked like grandma's old kitchen.
No, yeah, and that was June 24th, 2014
Right.
at 2:27 a.m.
You guys send those videos to me through Discord or through
Yeah.
something, dude. But yeah, dude, yeah. That fire one was. Oh, but basically, so Cecil was like, "Thea, I think Thea's coming home pretty soon,"
Yeah.
and we're like, "Oh fuck, she is." And dude, we cleaned up so fast, man.
Yeah.
We were like, And we even cleaned it on the ceiling. And like it was everywhere, but we cleaned it. She came back and she knew something was up. Because remember she was asking questions? She was like,
Yeah.
what's wrong? Nothing.
Yeah.
We were just chilling.
Yeah.
We were just chilling.
Yeah, for real. That was crazy, dude.
Then
Dude, looking at these videos, dude, the 2014, bro.
yeah.
6 years ago. Like, time is flying. Like, fast, man. And it's just crazy. Like, these moments, I feel like they were just a couple months ago. Like, we could still remember, like,
Yeah.
everything we do. Or we did.
Because the fire one was I learned how to do it after the first time, because the first time was when it went up and it went up my
Yeah.
arm. Because
It
I
went
did,
up my arm.
yeah, but that one was after, because we were like, you know what? I think we could do this better, and we did it the second time, and you were like, hold on,
Yeah.
let me record,
Yeah.
and I was like, all right.
Yeah, dude.
And like it's like delayed too, like it literally.
you just run out.
Da-na-na-na-na.
Yeah, dude.
And like it's funny because like it's delayed, like it just sits there and just out of nowhere just engulfs like that, and you're like, oh.
Damn, man, that's crazy. If I
Yeah.
can go back to those times, that's pretty dope, man.
Those,
I don't
like,
know.
those are the times, man. Those are the times, man.
Yeah,
And that's
Yeah.
why I'm the
man.
way I
We
am.
like really and truly like in the next podcast that we're probably gonna do, or the second part, because there's gonna be multiple parts. We're gonna really dissect each part what we need to talk about, because there's
Yeah.
so much that I would like to share with
And
everybody.
we can't like sidetrack from it either.
Yeah,
Like, so
because we could easily go off to like a different topic
Like,
each time. Like
here's where we're supposed to go. There.
We
Oh
fucking-
yeah.
Yeah.
Then we go in a
sideways
whole
and
different timeline.
backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, and we circle back around.
It's. Oh, you should need to focus. Yeah. So how much time do we have left on this podcast? Or did we?
Yeah, we gotta wrap this one up, man. We're running a little over, like 30
Oh.
minutes. We got 2 hours on right now.
All right. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Start on. We're gonna start thinking about the next podcast and what we could talk about. On this
Yeah.
one, we're just really trying to, I guess you could say, talk a little bit more of ourselves. You know,
Yeah.
get a little bit of an insight.
The before.
Yeah, before us, I guess you could say. I don't
Before
know.
we
what
were
you-
we.
Yeah. Before we were.
we.
Yeah. Before the duo
The duo,
you know,
dude.
took
Yeah.
on the world.
But yeah.
All right.
All right,
yeah.
guys. Thank you for watching, listening, and please leave a like, subscribe, and share this. And
And leave a comment down below what y'all would like to hear about. If anything helps y'all out, it'll help us out eventually. Like just y'all's feedback. Appreciate it. Thank you. And sorry, Brandon, for cutting you off once again.
and remember, always do what you want to do. Don't let your don't let
Yeah.
your
Life.
don't let life get in the way.
Yeah. Just stay focused. Keep your head down. Keep going straight, no matter what the fuck life throws at you. Take that challenge and keep going forward.
If life gives you lemons, tell them fuck you.
Oh, eat the motherfuckers. Yeah.
But all right, thanks guys. See ya.
Peace.